Airy over there at UNC. Hello, everyone. It is October 5th, 2020, and we're about to start the Mount Airy Town Council meeting. This meeting is being recorded. Which reminds me, I got to hit this button. So that's good. All right, and I think all the recording devices are on, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much. There are no presentations for tonight's meeting, and I do not see any of the commissioners or anyone who is a speaker for tonight. So we'll move down to the approval of the council meeting minutes and closed meeting minutes. That's for the August 2020 closed meeting minutes, the September 2020 town council meeting minutes, the September 2020 closed meeting minutes, the September 2020 public hearing meeting minutes, and the September of 2020 closed meeting minutes for the other subject as well. Is there a motion to approve all those minutes? Councilwoman Washabaugh has made a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Go ahead, I'll second.
Okay, Councilmember Reed is seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And okay, and that is unanimous. Down to Mount Airy Police Chief Reetz's monthly report. Chief, I see him working his way up to the microphone.
Good evening, Chief Reetz with the Mount Airy Police Department with the monthly Police Department report. As far as trainings completed and meetings attended during the month, we had 2 officers that attended Field Training Officer Refresher Training through the Maryland Police Training Commission's Training and Standards Commission. Command staff attended and participated in a Use of Force Policy Review Committee with the Carroll County law enforcement agencies, as well as a body-worn camera study committee. We're preparing for what may be coming forward in the near future with the police reform and so forth. Community outreach, as usual, the Mount Airy Police Department has a community services unit that is always willing to assist to provide crime prevention surveys and relaying information. So if anybody has any needs for that, please contact the police department. During the month of September, we had 751 calls for service. This is a 6% decrease from August of 2020. It's also a 22% decrease from last September. Sure, there's a lot of underlying factors with that as well. Traffic enforcement, we had a total of 69 traffic stops for the month. We issued 56 traffic citations, 56 warnings, 25 equipment repair orders. There were no DUI arrests for the month, and we had 6 traffic arrests. As far as criminal enforcement, we had 6 Part 1 crimes. That was a 50% increase in comparison with August of this year, and the bulk of those crimes were larceny thefts, and we had 5 of them and 1 breaking and entering. There was 18 Part 2 crimes that occurred. As far as our criminal enforcement, we made 16 arrests this month. We had 1 adult on-view arrest, 3 juvenile on-view arrests, 6 controlled dangerous substance arrests, 2 warrant apprehensions, and we served 3 summonses and issued 1 criminal citation for the month. That would be my report. Does anybody have any questions?
Council President, I have 1 question, please.
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor.
And I may have missed it, Chief, and thank you for doing a great job. At some point, several months ago, a year ago, we had discussed maybe on some of our larger issues, just saying they're up by 5% or down by 2%. Are we still doing that? I didn't happen to hear it.
Yes, we did, yes. Just advised that the Part 1 crimes and, how much of a percent increase or decrease in the calls for service also. Mentioned that was where it was as far as that. And if we go back, Part 1 crimes, a 50% increase of Part 1 crimes in comparison with August this past year, and it's a 67% increase, Part 1 crimes in comparison with September of 2019.
Okay, that's good to know. And did you read that automatically, or is it written down somewhere where people?
It's in the chief, yes, it's in the chief's report, yes, it is.
Great, thank you, Chief.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And I don't have any questions, but I would tell you that, what the way 2020 is going, I know your officers are having to deal with a lot of unique situations right now.
Yes, sir.
And I think they're doing an incredible job. So,
Thank you. I'll relay that information to
yeah,
them.
please do. So,
Council, thank you.
anyone else? Councilmember Poirier?
No, I'm good at this time. Thank you, Chief, for all your hard work through 2020. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next is the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company report. I don't see Bruce. I know he attached it and sent it to an email, so we've seen that. Does anyone have any comments on that? No. Okay. Moving on, community concerns, citizen comments, and I believe, I know the duck race people are here. Is there anyone else who's going to be making citizen comments? Okay. All right. Hey, come on up. If you could just mention your name real.
Okay, Dick Wilcher, 7961 Bennett Branch Road, and I'm the president of the Rotary Club. So I wanted to give the town of Mount Airy a check. We estimate, based on the billing, that we should have paid $12 or so, but we have a check for the town for $100 for their general fund. And I was going to give it to the mayor, but the mayor's not here, so who should I give this check to?
I'll take it and get it where it belongs. So it's this. So it's a check to the general fund to offset the cost of the water.
Yes.
And everything.
Yes.
That's terrific. And how did the duck race go?
So we raised, our gross revenue exceeded $50,000.
Wow.
The fire department and Rotary Club will each get close to $20,000. The numbers aren't finalized, but we're awful close to that number for both of us. So the town, we had 60-some gifts. We just finished passing out the gifts today. I didn't count the number of individual people that sponsored or adopted ducks, but it was probably over 1,000 people. So talk about community support. And I did want to thank the town. I mean, when I was here before, I talked about Ashley Collier and the work, but I know there's a lot of people within the town of Mount Airy and the offices that helped us greatly. So it's very much appreciated. Just so you can mark it on your calendar, September 12th next year is race day. Okay? So, any questions?
No,
No.
but we enjoyed watching it. Thank you so much for all your hard work.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dick.
Council President?
Yes,
Council
go-
President, just want to make a quick comment.
Go ahead, Mayor.
And thank you. Thank you. The town was going to donate the water, but that just shows how efficient and how beautiful this entire project was. You created a lot of excitement in the neighborhood. Everybody loved talking about the ducks, decorating their ducks. So not only was it a huge fundraiser by the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company and the Rotary Club, it was just a very fun event. So I want to thank you so much. And Council President Hushour is a little bit quiet on this, but I know he was out there cutting signs. He was emceeing some of the event, and he was a great liaison with the town for your needs. So thank you, Council President Larry, and thank you, I guess, mostly to also the citizens that really took part in this. So thank you, Rotary Club, for bringing this about.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And I thought it was a great event. They did a terrific job. So, and I think with the way 2020 is gone, it came at the right time and gave us a good diversion for our attention. So thank you.
So real quick, I just want to say congratulations to the fire department as well as the Rotary Club. I know how hard it is to fundraise, and you raised a considerable amount of money for both organizations, and you should be very proud.
All right. Any other comments? All right,
Wait a minute.
oh, come on up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Demoter, and I'm representing the Growth and Development Task Force, and I wanted to give you a real quick update on where we are with the 2020 Community Survey. First, I want to thank the mayor and I want to thank the council for your continued support to the work group and financially to the effort. Thank you very much. Working with our contractor, we began in mid-August to code all of the survey data and get it into a database. And that was to be completed by September 30th, and that's been done on schedule. And so from here, we are working to tabulate the results, do some analysis, look at the data trends, and I think we will be ready to communicate that to you, the council, and the mayor in November, at the November council meeting. So we will continue to work as a task group. We'll continue to coordinate with the mayor and get his perspective on how we should be rolling this out to you and to the community at large. So that's where we're at.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And Holly will set that up on the agenda for next month. Okay. All right. And just keep us informed, and I'm sure the mayor will too. Keep us informed if you want to do it at the November meeting or if you want to move it somewhere else. Okay. Any other citizen comments? All right, moving into the agenda, ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 2020-21 is to amend the town's APFO, Adequate Public Facilities Ordinance, as to police coverage. This is for adoption. Let me pull up some notes here real quick. This was brought up at the August meeting and was brought to a vote for the September 14th meeting. After the public hearing, there was some comments that made us want to take a closer look at the existing projects in town, and therefore it was tabled at that point. Following everybody doing their independent research on this ordinance, I'll go ahead and try to move it in, and if we get a second, then we'll go into discussion. I believe there's at least one citizen who may want to make a comment at that point. So I would move that we adopt 2020-21, but I would amend it from the 1.2 number to 1.1 as a ratio from for police officers to citizens. Okay, and so that's my my motion. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, Councilmember Munder is seconded, and now we are into discussion as a 1.1 ratio on that. Are there any citizens who would like to speak on this? Mr. Thompson, come on up.
Thank you. Ron Thompson, Van Mar Associates. I at least appreciate you going down to 1.1. My first question is, do you now have 11 officers on staff?
We are budgeted for 11 officers. We're in the process of hiring number 11. So,
My first comment would be if this goes into effect before you have 11, then that could stop all development, which was my initial reaction and why I was so against the original ordinance.
okay.
My second comment is this potentially could be okay. It also potentially could be a stop development ordinance, depending upon the acceptance of what the town population is at this point in time. I've heard discussions anywhere from 10,000 population when the actual population per the U.S. Census Bureau is 9,494. Might note that every so often when we look at population within the town of Mount Airy, we tend to go to the master plan, which for a master plan projected something like 1.5 or 2%, some type of number for population growth, when the reality of growth within the town of Mount Airy has been 0.22%, essentially stagnant, which pretty much follows along that you have had no new significant residential development until starting this year. So I think it is important, first of all, to establish what that town population is, or accepted population at this point in time. I have to stand up in front of the planning commission, the planning staff, and I always have to, I would like not to have to get into a detailed discussion in arguing about town population when it comes to APFO and whether or not projects are either allowed to move forward or not. Development is not an evil thing, should not be considered evil within the town. In fact, commercial development that's occurring within the town is primarily infill development within existing subdivisions, filling in vacant lots in between existing industrial buildings or commercial buildings. They generate revenue to the town both in terms of fee and in terms of taxes. The mayor highlighted last month the town has the lowest tax rate within Carroll County. Part of that is because you've been able to have commercial and industrial development, which has always been stated as a priority by the Planning Commission, occurring within the town. They help subsidize or contribute revenue to allowing that tax rate to stay at the rate that it is at. Therefore, I encourage, first, if you're going to move forward with this amended ordinance, that there be an agreement that the 2020 population is 9,494, which I pulled off the website today, which then allows for continued, in particular, commercial development. I think John probably gave you a list of developments either underway, in discussion, hopefully being submitted, if I can work out some stormwater management issues. Like not to have to go back to those property owners and tell them, sorry, tell them no longer want you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ron. Were there any other citizen comments? Okay, I'll go ahead and start us out and look at some of the things that Ron has pointed out. I do appreciate your comments last month. It did give us a chance to slow down and take a look at everything, and I appreciate your work on the staff. John Breeding, who brought to us a list of the projects that are coming up, and in particular the projects, he listed all the projects, but in particular the projects coming up within this fiscal year, which is all of them are non-residential. So Twin Arch Business Center, Lot 15, Twin Arch Business Park, Twin Ridge Industrial. Lot 32 is a single lot, Twin Arch Business Park. And then Dr. Schwartz Eye Care Development. And then the other two things that came up last month were Chick-fil-A, which is already approved, but again, that's not a residential one. The one that is residential is Brittany Manor, but that's already been approved. But to your point, that would add to the population of the town, which is the trigger for the APFO as far as meeting that police force. So with an amendment down to 1.1 on the ordinance, we're basically good up to a population at 10,000. The number you bring up, 94, is the same number that I brought up as a projected 2020 census number. Even if that didn't factor in Brittany Manor with 87 houses at 3.75, I think that brings the number up. I hate doing math in public, but somewhere around 320 people or something. 2.7, so it'd be even lower than that. So that would still not get us past the 10,000 threshold. Okay, we are budgeted to 11 officers. I understand we do have number 11. Chief, have we started the process of hiring our 11th officer for this fiscal year? Could,
Probably give you a status report of what we have.
that'd be great.
Right now, we have 10 officers. One is in training at the Carroll County Sheriff's Office in their academy. We just held interviews for a lateral position, and we are within like a day or two of offering a conditional offer of employment to another officer or a few prospective officers. So that will bring us up to the 11th.
Okay, all right, thank you, thank you. So last month when I presented this with 1.2, it kind of came as a threefold argument where I was talking about impact fees that needed to account for the police department, because currently they do not. They cover for the fire company, but we didn't have a police department last time they were talked about, and I believe the staff is working on that. True, but for this ordinance this month, we don't have to talk about the impact fees. We can talk about that later on and separate that out. The other part of the discussion last month was on 24-hour coverage, which requires, at this point, 12 officers. However, the mayor, myself, and our town administrator, David Warrington, got together, and we were in agreement that David and the chief would look at these points and determine exactly what we did need. So basically, we kicked the can down the road a little bit to the next budget cycle. So the chief and David will come up with a legitimate discussion about, needing 12 officers and how we can get to 24-hour coverage. Again, that doesn't need to be part of the discussion tonight, in my opinion. Tonight, we just need to look at the 1.1 number, and my push for that is because I don't want to go backwards. I believe that we are staffed to 1.1. I still feel that more is needed, but I do believe that at least in the APFO, we can get ourselves to where we are and not worry about sliding backwards the next time that we have a significant growth development that comes into town, which will be after at least some of our times, where possibly we end up with a large mixed-use development that increases the population, or some other type of development that pushes us past that 10,000 number. So I'm very comfortable with the 1.1, and that's where I stand on it. Are there other council members who would like to make a comment, or the mayor?
Larry, my only comment is I agree with everything. I'm glad we slowed down, we reevaluated. We may go back, but we're going to do so with another research project. As you say, a lot of the projects have already approved. They are not impacted. I understand Ron's concern. It's valid, but it's not going to be impacted. We do have properties that are at the staff level now that would have been at a higher level, but they won't be now. I think this is a good compromise, and I think Ron needs to remember our first concern is public safety, and this achieves both goals. So I'm very happy with it.
Okay. Anyone else?
I just want to say that I agree with Council President Hushour that 1.1 at least protects what we have and we don't sort of lose an officer. And that by going to 1.1, we don't stop the infill development that we're trying to accomplish. So, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll second. I'll agree with Council President Hushour and what Councilwoman Reed said. That at 1.1, it does not backslide us to anywhere, and will not stop any upcoming commercial development in town. So it's a very good compromise.
Councilmember Poirier, any comments?
Thank you, Larry. Yes. So my only comment would still be that looking at the list of projects that John Breeding has presented the council, I still do not see anything that would put us over any mark in relation to a population of over 10,000. Being the council member that has been on the table working with the police force and making sure that we have the appropriate number of officers to protect our citizens, we have done, I think, an amazing job working with a given budget. We have looked at projects and distributed the funds appropriately. Our staff does a great job finding grants and working within our means. I would say that we are one municipality that has done an amazing job trying to find money elsewhere. And I think that this can also be something where we can find money elsewhere. And I know that you had mentioned that impact fees will come at a later discussion, and I completely agree with you. So as soon as we get to the impact fees, Larry, I'll certainly be taking a closer look at how future development for commercial will help support our officers that not only protect the businesses, but also our residents. But we have done a great job budgeting for police officers thus far. I do realize that we are currently not at 24-hour Mount Airy police coverage. We are working with other districts to make sure that during those 2 hours that we do have, if an emergency was to occur, we do have coverage for that. But we are going to 11 officers here, all within our own Mount Airy budget. And so that is kind of where I'm standing right now, that we can continue to look at our impact fees next year and continue to budget appropriately. And I don't see any project on that list that will be greatly impacted within the next 2 to 3 years. So that's kind of my opinion and my feeling on that.
All right, thank you. Any other comments?
Councilman Hushour?
Yes.
Councilman Hushour, may I just follow up? Jason's 100% correct. I agree with him, and I love where he's going. I love where you all are going. Just one clarification. We could have 24-hour coverage right now. We do have 24-hour coverage when we need it. It's just a matter of staffing, and sometimes under our current staffing plan, we prefer to have 2 or 3 officers on duty during our peak times, and doing away with some of our lesser hours that I don't think we should make public, because they can change and they can be adapted. So we could have 24-hour coverage this day, but it would put us at a weaker point, because there are times where safety, you do at least want 2 officers on duty. Remember, Mount Airy spent 30 years with 1 officer on duty. But just some clarifying points, because I don't want the citizens to think we can't have 24 the way we are. We can, but we'll suffer weaknesses in other places, and that's what we want to evaluate. So thank y'all.
Thank you, Mayor, and I do stand corrected, where during high peak hours we are 3 officers deep, and we are choosing more appropriate staffing measures. So I do stand corrected. Thank you, Mayor.
That's fine. Yeah, appreciate the comments. And anything else? Do you have anything?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Larry, for bringing this to our attention and actually taking a proactive approach to the police force and, what type of coverage is needed for the town of Mount Airy. And after doing the numbers, it looks like even after we bring Brittany Manor in, which will have the additional people that will increase our total amount of population in the town of Mount Airy, we're still under that. And I think it's good to note to the people of Mount Airy that the bigger developments, if they do happen, the developer will be really under the microscope. to bring either more impact fees, and at that time, hopefully, we'll be addressing the impact fees prior to any of those developments coming into our town. So we will have those additional fees, and as well as the fact that if they don't meet the APFO in order to move forward, there would have to be some other type of concession that comes to the town. So that's why this is so important to put in place now, because it will actually keep the developer's feet to the fire, so to speak. And that's always in the benefit of the town, that the infrastructure will be in many ways paid for by the developer. And I think that's a good thing to do going forward. So I want to thank you for bringing this to this attention, and I support it.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments before we vote? All right, all in favor of accepting ordinance 2020-21 as amended to 1.1, say aye.
Aye.
Councilmember Poirier?
Nay.
Okay, so we have 4 ayes and 1 nay, and so the motion carries. Okay. All right, next on the agenda is 2020-22. That's a budget amendment to add $9,000 to the planning and zoning administrative expenses line item for completion of the town survey, and this is for adoption tonight. Would someone like to make a motion on that?
A motion.
Okay, Councilmember Munder has made a motion on 2020-22. Is there a second? Okay, Councilmember Washabaugh has seconded, and is there discussion on that?
If I can just ask one question. So the $9,000 actually covers what exactly?
Sir.
If I could answer that?
Yeah, please, Mayor.
Yeah, it's the calculations that the Growth Development Task Force has laid out that they want to see. They don't just want to see simple numbers. They have several very interesting studies that they want to present with the town survey, giving the people or the town of Mount Airy a voice. Remember when the other survey was done, and I was actually fortunate enough to be the chairman, we did it all by hand ourselves. Because this is a different survey, a little bit deeper, and we're going for a deeper process. So this is just a cost.
Okay. Any other question? All right.
I just have one question,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
When you guys were doing the survey and knowing that you were probably going to have another group analyze the data, was there a cost that the analysts gave you guys that was going to be something future down the road, or did they not present a figure that in analyzing the data further?
Yeah, what happened with that was we used our current computer contractor who felt that they were doing us a favor by giving us reduced price. That favor turned into delays, and we couldn't keep having those delays. So at that point, we pulled it and got another contractor, and that fee was higher. That's what happened.
Thank you for your further explanation. I appreciate that.
Okay, any other discussion or comments? All right, all in favor of accepting 2020-22, the budget amendment adding $9,000 to the planning and zoning administrative expenses line for completion of the survey, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I heard Councilmember Poirier say aye as well, so it is unanimous. Okay, next is 2020-23. That's to change or clarify the Planning Commission review items. And when they begin, we're going to reintroduce this tonight and set a public hearing for that. Would I think Councilmember Poirier, you brought this about. Would you like to reintroduce that?
Can I just ask a question? This was introduced at the last meeting, so the reason for the reintroduction? That's a question. What's the reason for the reintroduction?
We're working on it.
Yeah, so, I mean, you don't have to, but typically we just do at this time. It doesn't hurt to reintroduce it, and it gives you a full 75 days from now to enact it. But, you know, if you don't have to reintroduce it, but understand that if it's not enacted next time, you would want to reintroduce it then, so.
So then my other question before I make this motion would be, if we knew that this was going to go to a public hearing, why, when it was originally made as a motion to introduce, did we not set a public hearing date at that point?
Because we don't know how long the planning commission's going to take to turn it around. In this case, they turn it around very quickly, but they have up to 60 days. So, yeah, we could have set it last time, but you'd be setting it more than 60 days hence. So, and typically in the regular course of things, this is how we've always done it. We've always done it that when it comes back from planning, that's when we typically set the public hearing. There have been a few exceptions, but normally this is the way it's usually done.
Okay, I don't remember this. Did it already go to planning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Planning got to it very quickly.
And then my other question, Tom, does this affect the days that are currently in the procedure for Harrison and Legere?
Yes, in my opinion, it would. It would
Okay.
extend.
Okay. I'll make a motion to reintroduce 20-23.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and second that. So it's reintroduced, and now we'll schedule a public hearing, and I was thinking 15 minutes before the start of the next council meeting, if that's okay with everyone. So that would be, what's our November date? Someone's probably faster than me.
November 2nd.
Okay, yep. So November 2nd at 7:15 will be the public hearing for 2020-23. Now, just to clarify something, I'm looking back at our town clerk, and Tom, I'm sure you can answer this too. There is if you're going to have a public hearing, you need 14 days advance notice? Yes. True? Yeah, okay. So that was the other thing that kind of got in our way, Councilmember Poirier, is that even though we knew that it had made it through planning, I couldn't put it on the agenda because we didn't have time to advertise it, so.
I guess my confusion was I didn't know that this had gone already to planning, so that was my misunderstanding. I apologize.
Okay, no problem, we're good. Okay, next on the agenda is ordinance 2020-24. That's a budget amendment for site improvements, Park Avenue, Cross Street, and Center Street for $18,000, and that's for introduction. Would someone like to introduce that?
I will
Councilmember Munder, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Councilmember Reed is seconded. We'll see that next month for adoption. Okay, ordinance 2020-25 is a budget amendment for radon mitigation, town hall basement for $11,000. Would someone like to introduce that? Okay, Councilmember Washabaugh introduced. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Councilmember Munder is seconded. Next is ordinance 2020-26, budget amendment for electric charging station installation municipal parking lot for $15,000. Would someone like to introduce that?
I will introduce this.
Councilmember Munder is introduced. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Councilmember Reed is seconded. Ordinance 2020-27, budget amendment for Department of Public Works Office and Break Room, $70,000. That's for introduction. I guess I'll take my turn. I'll move to introduce. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Councilmember Munder is seconded. And finally, ordinance 2020-28, budget amendment for water tower number 2 to replace a riser pipe for $41,000. Is there Anyone? Okay, Councilmember Washabaugh is moved to introduce. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Munder is second. Okay, there is no unfinished business. We're down to new business. Okay, that's the approval of the paving contract for Nottingham to repave the valve bolt replacement program. And Brian has provided us one bid that was in the packet and then a follow-on bid after that. Would you be willing to make a comment and tell us what we're looking at here?
Yeah, from the last budget cycle, we had to dig up all the valves and replace the bolts out in Nottingham. This is to come back and put a permanent blacktop back around all those valves we dug out.
Okay, all right. And Brian Johnson has mentioned that over in Nottingham, when we replaced all the valves, this is so that we can redo the asphalt around those valves. And I believe your recommendation is to take the Sal's estimate for $51,400. Okay, and that was the cheaper of the two that you have shown us. So I'll make a motion to accept the bid of Sal's at $51,400. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Councilmember Munder seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay, and with Councilmember Poirier, that is unanimous. And so that is approved. All right, and we're down to the mayor and council reports. And so we got the mayor, and I think I see a couple of appointments, well, at least one appointment. But Mayor, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Great meeting, council members. You're doing a great job. I love how we get the questions and by various members and the compliments as they're needed as well. I just want to let the town know that on behalf of the town council that we do hope everyone had a great summer. We know that there's a new school year coming up. It's going to be a little different this year. We want to let you know that we're very proud of our citizens and our businesses as we make it through this COVID-19 and as we continue to follow the CDC requirements that are resulting in lower cases in the state of Maryland and more reopening. Please remember to be safe. Let's follow the CDC requirements and let's get back to normal. Hopefully we'll have a vaccine soon. I'm not going to touch on the Rotary Club, Mount Airy Volunteer Upcoming Duck Race. We did. It's been fantastic, but that'll be in my formal report. I also did a post tonight. We have some artists that are working at the Simpson Baker Park. One of them was Bailey Ramling, who just finished up a art. Another one was Gabby Deo, a young student that did a great job. So thank you. And we have some more artwork coming. We did touch on the town survey, so I won't go into detail on that either. I want to let everybody know that our town administrator, David Warrington, is working on several blighted properties in town. And again, one of the reasons that lets us work on these blighted properties is because in the last few years, this town council has given us ordinances that allow us to push forward. And some of those properties are the constructions by the Bank of America, South 1010 Main Street, and some other properties I just won't necessarily bring up right now. But those are all properties that Dave is working on very hard to make sure people clean them up. And Matt, our zoning ordinance guy, is doing a great job to make our town more presentable. As you all know, we added the old SO gas sign down to Plummery Building, and it's been really exciting to see some of that stuff. And that with a lot of the stuff the Historical Society has been doing. Our downtown is pretty wow, so I hope you all come down there. I am going to pass up on the micro grants because I think that may be Councilwoman Pam Reed may be bringing that up with EDC. There's also a grant for the train station that's coming along for upcoming gutters and whatnot. I'm not going to go into detail on that. It will be in my formal report. Also, I will be listing student opportunities because they need their service hours That'll be a complete list, and we run this every year, by the way, of who they can contact to get their student hours. It'll be different this year. Let me see. In the mayor's report, you also see all of our outreaches. We have a website, Facebook page, a Mount Airy Police Department Facebook page. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, and we have an emergency notification link. And we have papers like Tony Burke with the Messenger. So a lot of our information is out there in several ways. I know sometimes people don't look to it till after the fact, but it's out there. There'll be a lot of upcoming events. I'd like to thank Carly Hubble, who actually is a professional artist that she actually lives in Summit Ridge, or she did. I think she lives in New York now. She was South Carroll High School class of 2015, involved in the stage lighter, and she actually sang the national anthem last Friday. I'm going to defer on the Spooky Safari. I think Carl may cover that. And we got a Man for Halloween Week coming up. If nobody catches that, it'll be in my report. Making strides this year. I've been lucky to be filming for many years. It's the 10th anniversary. It's going to be virtual, and it's going to be a drive-through event. So that'll be in detail in the mayor's report. Look for that. We're not going to do our 5K this year. So let's see it happens. I'm going to give a shout-out to Wendy's Warriors. That's a former council member, and she's with the state of government. Where they were formed and started in 2011. And our own Mary Van Meter taking a big role in that and making strides. Something I'm going to do different this year for our seniors, and me and the town council have been pretty good with our outreach, taking separate parades to go out and see our seniors, starting on September 10th, and then, September 10th, and then October 10th and October 24th, I'll be taking a walk up the First Street will be Parade Lane on Saturday, October 10th. So if any of the seniors are sitting outside on their front porch, as I've been seeing them, or if they want to pull up in a car from 10:30 to 11, if they have any questions about what's happening, and I know Colleen is checking on some stuff from the emergency response team calls that are impacting seniors. So Colleen, good luck getting that information together. But anyway, I'll be doing the mayor's forum on the walk. I'll be walking, and then the following October 24th, I'm going to walk around Merry-Go-Round Way. If y'all want to come out and talk, that'll be great. I think that's about wrapping it up. That does wrap up my mayor's report. Larry, would you be kind enough to please let me know who the commission members that I'm introducing? I don't have that document in front of me.
Certainly. The mayor will be recommending at the October Town Council meeting that Jonathan Samayoa, hopefully I didn't destroy his name, be appointed to the Streets and Roads Commission. And that's your only appointment. And if you're okay with that, I'll make a motion that we accept Jonathan Samayoa to the Streets and Roads Commission. Are you okay with that, Pat?
Not only am I okay with that, I actually knew the name, but I couldn't pronounce it. That's why I reached out to you.
No wonder you made me read it.
Right. No, that's it. And again, thank you all very much for a great job.
Okay, is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay, Councilmember Munder is seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and that is unanimous.
Council President, I have one question for the mayor.
Go ahead.
On his report. Mr. Mayor, you still there?
Depends on the question.
Now, what safari am I supposed to be talking about tonight?
There's Ashley has developed a spooky trail.
Okay, all right.
With that?
Yeah, I'm kind of aware of that, so I'm, okay, I just wanted to make sure, because you said it quickly, so, okay.
That's it, but I don't want to steal anybody else's thunder. You've been working on that more than me.
I'll try to.
If we need to, we know Gina's out here. We can throw her in the fire. So she's hiding behind the mask.
Good.
Okay, next
Sounds
is Beautification Parks and Rec Commission, Councilmember Munder.
All right, the meeting was held on Tuesday, September 15th at 7 p.m. in Watkins Park. Status updates on various park gardens were given. Discussion ensued on the recently installed posts for the parking lot and access road at Village Gate Park. Discussion topics included the height of the posts and how best to soften the visual impact of them on the surrounding properties. Since the meeting, the Beautification Commission has gone out and did some plantings in front of the post to help with this concern. Also, several upcoming Scout and Girl Scout projects were discussed, mainly the checkerboard and the fishing line recycling project. The idea of various murals in different locations downtown were also discussed. The status of the holiday decorations were discussed. It is planned to put up the decorations the second weekend in November, and the Christmas ornament of Mackenzie the caboose is going forward and moving along. And as the mayor said, this year, due to COVID, instead of the standard spooky trail, it has been decided that for the 2 weeks before Halloween, our Ashley Kohler will be putting up various stuffed animals along the trail so people can go and look and hold their own spooky safari, so to say, as the mayor suggested. And that will be held on the 2 weeks before Halloween. It's walk at your own pace on the trail. And I also would like to mention, if anyone's out there that would like to serve on the Beautification Commission, we are looking for new members, so please contact Town Hall. And the next meeting will be Tuesday, the 20th at 5:30 at the Baker Simpson Bowles Pop-Up Park. That is conclusion for the beautification report. Now the Recreation and Parks Board. That meeting was held 9/17 at 7 p.m. via Zoom. The board heard 2 presentations for Girl Scout Gold Award projects. One was by Abigail Beckman, who is a senior at Linganore High School. She will be installing containers at Prospect Park Lake so people can pick up their fishing line that's laying around the ground there and put in there for recycling. That's one. The second one was by Emily Trail, who is a sophomore at South Carroll. Her Gold Star Award project will be the rehab of the sand volleyball court at Watkins Park. This project will include the removal and replacement of sand, the redefining of the court edges, and the replacement of the poles and nets. And the commission gave tentative approval for both of these projects and recommended they contact the appropriate town staff to see if there are any concerns with these projects. Also, during the meeting, there were several staff updates on projects. The first one I would like to give is the Rails to Trails Town View Boardwalk is proceeding. Maryland Department of Environment Dam Safety Program has approved the project alterations, and a detailed plan is currently being created by Century Engineering. Ooh, talking too fast and getting tongue-tied, sorry. Summit Ridge paving for the ADA access to the pavilion will take place mid-October, I believe still, Barney, right? Is it still in plan for mid-October? And I'm not sure, is Councilwoman Reed giving an update on the inclusive playground tonight, or?
I can.
I mean, I can,
Go ahead.
Okay, I just don't want to steal your
No, you're okay.
project, okay. The grant from the state of Maryland was approved, so the equipment is in the process of being ordered. It's coming from Germany, so we're anticipating somewhere December, January delivery of the equipment, and then weather has to be right for the install of everything. So it'll be several months, I believe, if I was understanding
So
everything
real
right.
quick, Gina, is the pavilion going in this fall? Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, so sometime springish, I guess, is the best to say on that one. An update was also given by the Ellises on their research into grants for the mountain bike trail in Windy Ridge Park. And the next meeting will be held on October 22nd at 7 p.m. via Zoom. And that concludes that. Me? Oh. Oh, no, I gave 2 wrong dates. Hold on. Yes, there is. Sorry. That 1st of October on a Thursday threw me there. The next meeting is October 15th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Thank you, Gina.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Munder. Next is Economic Development Planning Commission, Councilmember Reed.
Yep, so the Planning Commission met on Monday, September 28th. The first up was the Carroll County Planning Commission forwarded EC 13-2020-0030 related to the rezoning request of parcel 20, which is the property just north of Harrison-Lashir, to the Carroll County Commissioners with a non-favorable recommendation. Clearly, it's up to the Carroll County Commissioners now, but we're going to hope for the best there. Planning also heard more public comment related to the Harrison-Lashir annexation. We are expected to hold a workshop prior to the next Planning Commission meeting. The next meeting is Monday, October 26th. Economic Development met on Wednesday, September 23rd. Topics of discussion were the Historic District Micro Grant Program, which is now open for applications. Applications are due by Thursday, October 8th. The program overview and criteria for eligible businesses can be found on the town's website. If you need help through the application process or have questions related to it, you can contact Melissa Thorne in Town Hall. We are still accepting facade grant applications. Applications are due by January 2021. Improvements must be completed by May of 2021. Town staff is actually also applying for this grant again for next year in the amount of $50,000. So we'll keep you posted on that. Some upcoming projects. Most of these projects have been in the works for months, but they were put on hold due to COVID. But we're talking about a Mount Airy business survey. We surveyed the residents, but our businesses are also very important to the economic growth of our town. So we're going to put together some sort of business survey. What that looks like right now, we don't know. How we're going to deliver it to the businesses, we don't know. Early stages of discussion. Hopefully next time we meet, we will have a draft of the business assistance loan program at the next town council meeting. And also a brand ambassador program. I'm working with Melissa in Town Hall to identify business segments that we can target. And the idea is that we would name one business owner the brand ambassador for their business segment. And the idea is to unite the businesses, get them talking to each other, encourage them to work together, but also bring information back to the town as to how we can, help them be more successful. The next EDC meeting is Wednesday, October 28th, and the next Bank Brews is Sunday, October 25th. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Reed. Next is Sanitation and Recycling and the Mount Airy Sustainable Commission. Councilmember Poirier, you have the floor.
Thank you, Larry. First, before I begin my report, Alice Raskin, our leader of the Mount Airy Farmers Market, posted a comment. Mount Airy Farmers Market, October 7th, 14th, and 21st from 2 to 6 p.m. In the rail yard. So she just wanted to make a comment about that really quickly before I begin my report. Sorry, I had a call.
That's okay, thank you.
I want to really congratulate the Sustainability Commission. We are going on, I want to say 4 to 5 years of earning Mount Airy, Maryland, the green certification again. And a huge thanks this time around to Ashley Collier, town staff, who helped the commission put the grant paperwork through. And to Barney's right there up on the wall, our new plaque should be up there with the new date. It is the only plaque that has like a green medal on there. And so I really want to congratulate the commission, Ashley, as well as the other commissions, beautification, parks, some of the things that the mayor is doing with the charging stations. All of these things are actually helping Mount Airy become more sustainable, and it's helping us keep us on the map of moving green forward. With that in mind, the commission had about a 3-hour meeting, and we are looking for new innovative ways to use the Simpson Baker Bowless Park. We are getting ready to hold some composting education sessions. We are looking at using that park to teach others about community gardening. And we are coming up with some new ways, workarounds per se, due to COVID. And we had a great meeting, and we have some education sessions for the community members, residents from not only inside Mount Airy, but also around the border. And we're looking forward to teaching others about how to become more sustainable, especially in a time such as this. So I will have some further updates. It was a great meeting, and I look forward to our next meeting. We have a recycling and sanitation meeting on October 21st at 7 p.m. And we are going to pull those two commissions together for an Earth Day, I would say a fiesta. And we look forward to doing some planning sessions between not only these two, but some of the prior events that the mayor had coming on with the electric charging stations, and pulling in some community members for education. So these will be coming down the pipeline. That concludes my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Poirier. Okay, next is the Streets and Roads Commission. That's Councilmember Washabaugh.
Good evening. Yes, we did not have a meeting for the month of, since our last council meeting, which was the 14th, because we had one on September 8th, I believe it was. But our next one will be November 10th. It will be via Zoom. And so I welcome everybody to chime in and tell us what you think if you have some suggestions. I've had many people that have been sending in the online submittal forms, and I've also had many people reach out to me by email. And there's been so many different areas that, you know, once we really thought about it, we thought this is a great idea. So I really want to thank all those people that have been chiming in with their recommendations, and we will be working on it. You can hear what's happening on November 10th. The other thing that's been an ongoing fun program that we've been working on is the Hometown Heroes Banner Program. Today, we got lots of boxes of brackets. We were hoping they were the actual banners. But you need the brackets to be able to put the banners up. So that's a good thing that they came in as well. But we're crossing our fingers that the banners arrive this week as well. And I did put out a notice to the one, the only Brian Johnson, who his crew will be helping to install the banners. And so we're hoping to get them up for a short period of time this year, and they will fly through Veterans Day. And then we're going to have to talk about how quickly we can get them down so we can get Christmas decorations up. So that's going to be something that we'll have to be discussing. But it was a very, very fun program to work on, and it turned out that instead of 60 banners, we went a little bit over, and we're going to have 68. So there is going to be quite a few banners that people will be able to walk around and soak in all the many heroes that we are so proud to call our own in Mount Airy. So stay tuned for that. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you very much. I know you spent hours and hours, especially one day when I was waiting to take Mary to lunch, and you guys were here for hours and hours.
Well, and thank you, because Councilmember Larry Hushour was very kind and spent many hours as well to make sure that we had everything right from a military perspective. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, Larry.
That's fine. You guys did great. Next is the Water and Sewer Commission Special Projects. That's myself. And the next Water and Sewer meeting is October 7th at 7 p.m. That'll be via Zoom. We have not had a meeting since our last council meeting. Next on my list is the Historical Society has a new raffle that is going on. It's for a beautiful Christmas quilt that was made by Nancy O'Brien. We got Doc out here in the audience. She did a wonderful job. It's a beautiful quilt, so please pass that along, although I'm sure she's watching on TV right now. So, but it's a beautiful Christmas quilt, has an old-time Santa on it. The raffle tickets are $5 a raffle ticket, and they're for sale at the Blossom and Basket Boutique. Also at the museum when it's open, which they're trying to do noon to 4, depending on if they can get volunteers on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, or you can go on the website, the Mount Airy Historical Society website, and you can use PayPal. The drawing is on November 30th. You do not have to be present to win, but I hope that lots of people buy raffle tickets at $5 a piece. And that concludes my report. Okay, next on the list is the town administrator report. Nothing to pass on past what you sent us in an email. He sent us a detailed update on the internet, so all the council members got that notification. So that's where we stand on his report. Next is the town attorney report. Tom?
Mostly since the last meeting, worked on the Harrison LaShear matter and the presentation that was made to the Planning Commission along with Barney and David, and also provided various pieces of advice on various issues since our last meeting. So.
Okay. All right, and next is a code enforcement report, which is available to all the council members. If you would like to seek that out and take a look at it. Tom, is there any reason to have a closed meeting this evening? No. And with that, we are at the end of our agenda. Would someone like to, go ahead.
I just wanted to say one other thing. It popped into my head, is that the VFW will be hosting a Veterans Day celebration and ceremony, I should call it, and that will be on November 11th. And so stay tuned for more information. I know that they're working on it right now, but I just want to let people and remind people again to put that on your calendar and just look for information. Will be on, I'm sure their website, and I'm sure the town website will also have the information for that as well. So stay tuned. Thank you.
All right.
One other thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I would also like to say out there that it is fall and it is Girl Scout cookie season. So even
Thanks, Carl.
You're welcome. It's even during these tough COVID times, the Girl Scouts are going to seriously try and do the cookie sales this year, all in a very much altered form, but there will be cookie booths around town and other ways. So please, if you know any Girl Scout troops, contact their leaders or the girls and see if they're selling cookies this year. But there will be booths up in November and December around town too. So just want to say that out there. So get ready to buy some cookies.
All right, that's great. I already got.
President, President, can I get one?
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor.
Just actually, this is sad news. As you all know, that we've been doing a lot of sprucing up at the old bank, the Simpson Ballas Baker Park. There is a problem there this evening. I drove by and there's ghosts all on the outside of the building. So as you ride home tonight, I would encourage the council members to take a look at the ghosts that are apparently taking a position on the outside of the building. They may end up on the inside, but just take a look and I'll advise the police department.
Oh, geez, I hope they're friendly ghosts.
I know 3 of us have to drive by past there.
All right, Councilmember Poirier, did you have anything else for tonight?
No, I usually follow the agenda. Thanks, Larry.
No, I appreciate it, but
unlike some of us.
Would you like to make a motion then?
No, I'm good.
Okay, anybody like to make a motion to maybe adjourn?
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Councilmember Reed has made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, Councilmember is seconded. We'll do a roll call. How about we start with you, Jason?
Aye.
Okay, Councilmember Munder?
Aye.
Councilmember Washabaugh?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
And I am an aye as well as Councilmember Hushour. So thank you so much. We will see you in November. Have a great month.
Goodbye.